लेक्चर्स ऑन अनअकैडमी। राहुल, बहुत आसान सा क्वेश्चन है आपका और उसके लिए काम कीजिए इसी चैनल पे। जस्ट गो to this channel only and I have recorded one video YouTube versus Unacademy Plus. You just go and check out that video. You will understand that you can definitely get best of the rank by just learning the courses or contents, but that's not enough. You need lots of other things which are not available on YouTube. Those things if you can cover up by yourself, of course you will be able to get best of the ranks. If not, then you will have to take the help of educators and you will have to take the help of the experts. Please go and check it out. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं सेशन को, बट बिफोर आई स्टार्ट आई नीड योर रेडीनेस। आर यू रेडी? अगर आप लोग रेडी हैं जल्दी से कमेंट बॉक्स में लिखिए, क्विकली राइट डाउन इन द कमेंट बॉक्स यू आर रेडी और नॉट, सो दैट वी कैन गो फर्दर एंड वी कैन टेल मी रे बाबा इफ यू आर रेडी। कमेंट बॉक्स में टाइप करिए यू आर रेडी, यू आर रेडी, यू आर रेडी। Are you ready, my dear friend, or not? And ready. Okay, fine. Okay, so here it is. Today we are going to discuss 2D array. What is two-dimensional array? Two-dimensional array is nothing but the collection of 1D arrays. It's a collection of 1D arrays. Now in that particular collection, what we can have? So for that, let's try to understand how that's 2D array is declared in C language. Okay, but before that let me explain you this collection of 1D arrays. So if we have one dimensional array, collection of elements, this is one array. If you take such kind of multiple one dimensional arrays, that is what? That is your two dimensional array. Simple, right? Got it? Understood? ये हो गया आपका 2D array. Now next, this 2D array in C language. How you define 2D array in C language? Can you type down in the comment box so that I can understand you guys are actually knowing the things or not? How to define 2D array in C language? You first write the type, data type, after that name, after that you write some size 1 and some size 2. What does it mean by size 1 and size 2? Size 1 is number of rows in your 2D array. Size 2 is number of columns in your 2D array. पता होना चाहिए सबको। नहीं पता? नहीं पता का? Right. So let's take a simple example. I told integer a in the square bracket, if I am writing 3 comma 4, which means I am having 3 rows. Within each row I'll be having 4 columns of elements. This kind of array we will be having 1 2 3 3। अरे ज्यादा बड़ा छोटा बन गया, जेल ले बराबर। Each will have how many? 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, like this. 12 elements total. Yes, total elements 12. How? 3 rows 4 columns, 3 into 4 12 elements. But this is the 2D array in C language, in which you do what? You have each and every element. You have each and every element. Okay, यहाँ पे लाया नहीं हूँ example. Each and every element, rows and columns. Rows and columns both are having lower bound 0. Row number starts from 0. Column number starts from 0. Means if I am having this 12 elements, how do I have the elements? The elements will be like this. First element will be having row number 0, column number 0. Second element will be having row number 0, column number 1, like this. And here row number, सबसे last वाला row, the last one will be this one, a of 2 comma 1. And here the last element will be the row number 2, column number 3. How do I know that? Just because if 3 rows we have, starting row number is 0, 1 and last row number is 2. Simple as that. इतना बहुत आसान है, ये सब कुछ आपको पता होना चाहिए. आई थिंक यू ऑल नो दिस. ये मुझे उम्मीद है कि आपको पता होना चाहिए. नाउ दिस इज C language in which lower bound for row number and lower bound for column number both should be starting from 0. Now listen this one. Data structure. In the data structure, do we have, क्या data structure में हमारे पास fixed lower bound होता है? Do we have fixed lower bound in data structure? Yes or no? You tell me, in the data structure, do we have fixed lower bound 0 only? No. Lower bound can start from 1. Yes. Can start from 2. Yes. Can start from 3. Can start from -2, -5, -6. Any integer you want, positive, negative, 0, whatever. So how to define the 2D array in data structure in such a way? In that case, you need to define the data structure or 2D array in the data structure like this way. Name first square bracket lower bound of I colon upper bound of I, and in the second bracket we have lower bound of j colon upper bound of j. Why these two lower bound upper bound? These lower bound upper bound I, subscript I, will be for rows, and these lower bound upper bound will be for columns. These are for rows and these are for columns. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? समझ में आया का नहीं आया? सर एग्जाम्पल दे दो तो हमें सब समझ में आ जाता है. सर यही एग्जाम्पल, इसी टाइप की चीजों के एग्जाम्पल हम यहां देंगे, डेफिनेटली देंगे. आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू मल्टीपल टाइम्स इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड, बट लिसन बरी, यू शुड हैव दिस पर्टिकुलर अंडरस्टैंडिंग नाउ इफ यू रियली वांट टू सर्वाइव इन IITs and IISc. There they will just tell you this. Without example, you will have to map the okay how the example will look. Okay, now listen. Look, अरे सुनो तो सही, सुन तो लो. Okay, so let's take a simple example. I am telling you one example. Suppose I am having an array like this. Starting index, let's say 2, last index 5, and here starting index is -3. Last index is 0. What does it mean? I will be having rows from 2 to 5 and column number I will be having from where to where? -3 to 0. शून्य. Right? Now listen how we will have this particular of array. So first element, row number 2. In the row number 2, first column is -3. Second element, row number 2, same to same, column number is -2. Row number 2 only, column number -1, and row number 2 only, column number 0 namanta. Next, row number now increases to 3. -3. A of, I am writing in downside, bracket hata ke, same to same, 3 -2. A of 3 -1. A of 2, 3, 0. Then A of 4 -3. A of 4 -2, A of 4 -1, A of 4 0. Then last row, a of 5 minus 3, a of 5 minus 2, a of 5 minus 1, and a of 5 0. Like this way you can have the array. 2D array, जी हाँ. How do you get the elements की total number of rows and total number of columns and total number of elements are how many in the array? How do you get that? बड़ा आसान है. How to get the rows? Number of rows. Number of rows I will denote it by m. ठीक है, मेरे assumptions में मैं m ले लेता हूं. m is equal to upper bound of rows minus lower bound for rows, which is I plus 1. 5 minus 2, 3 plus 1, 4. Then number of columns कैसे calculate करोगे? Number of columns will be how much? Can you tell me? क्या आप बता सकते हैं? जी हाँ, upper bound of j minus lower bound of j plus 1. 0 minus minus 3 plus 1, 0 plus 3 plus 1, 4. Right? So total number of elements in the array will be how many? Total number of elements in array is equal to m cross n. That's it. Got it? We have skill up with Mohit, and the question is, can we print the array with this? Mohit, if your programming language allows a data structure like this way, an array like this way, yes, of course you can do. But if you are not using any programming language which is using such kind of method, you can't do it. So we are right now discussing the data structure which is generalized method. If any programming language allows us to implement the array like that way, of course I can print it. ठीक है, चलिए अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल मैंने यहाँ लिया. Both row number also starting from 0, column number also starting from 0. Right? Now, if row number also starting from 0, column number also starting from 0, how to define this in data structure? A, what is lower bound of row? 0. Upper bound of row number 2. Lower bound of column starting from 0. Column upper bound 3. Total number of rows 3, total number of columns 4, total elements 12. बड़ा सिंपल सा फंडा. आगे बढ़ते हैं. How to store this 2D array in the memory? How to store 2D array in the memory? Storage. We are going to check out the storage. We all know कि array should be stored on consecutive locations. So first, if at base address you have stored this a of 0 0, which element next you will store? This one or this one? That depends on the storage का policy. सबको पता है. All of you know that what are the storage policies. सबको पता है कि नहीं पता है? जल्दी बताओ. All of you are knowing that particular storage policy, that which element to store next. First, you are going to store the first completely row or complete column. Based on that, you have two types of storage policies. नाम बताओ जल्दी से. Row measure order and column measure order. Right? So we have two types of storage policies. One is row measure order, one is column measure order. Row measure order says that you need to store the elements row wise. Means first of all you need to store complete first row, then after that next row, then next row. Look at this. First of all, in the memory you are storing a of 0 0, after that 0 1, then 0 2 0 3. After that, next row. So look at this. This is the first row, 0th row. Then row number 1 element you are storing next. First row. Look at this. 1 0 1 1 1 2 1 3. And after that, second row you are storing next. 2 0 2 1 2 2 2 3. Right? This is row measure order. If you are storing the elements in row measure order, suppose this is the location of the memory on address 200, assuming that each element is stored on 2 locations. Each element in the memory stored on 2 locations. That is my assumption. चार बोल सकते हैं, लिख सकते हैं, आपका assumption है, आप assume कर लीजिए, 4 assume कर लीजिए. Assuming, right? So next element 0 1 will start from 202. Next element starts from 204. Next 206. Next 208. Next 210. This 212. 240. 260. 280. 220. 222. That can be the address, and you all know कि wherever the very first element of the array is stored, that is called as base address of the array. पता है ना सबको? पता है ना सबको? Right? So 2 locations here means on 2 different addresses one element is occupied in the memory. Like if suppose memory is byte addressable and the element size is 2 bytes, so 2 addresses will be occupied by single element. That is the meaning. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. अब row measure order में if we want to find out how to find out the location. Suppose if I am asking that can you give me the address of A of 22 element A of 22, element A of 22 here, element का address should be 220. But how to find it? How to find it until we draw this? But this is very easy when we are having only 12, 15, 16 elements. If we will be having number of elements 100, 200 or something, can you draw that? No. Can you get a formula? Of course. How? I will explain. Look at this. Very simple. How to do that? Look at this. First of all, if it is row measure order, if you remember my simple formula which I told you before, any kind of location of any element you are finding, suppose you are finding location of an element which is in row I and in that column J. What you need to do is you need to write the most common formula, base plus W into the relative index of that element, A of ij. Now what is relative index? वापस से repeat कर रहा हूं. The relative index is how many number of elements are present before that element in the array. Relative index is when you are storing the array in the memory, how many number of elements stored before this element, number of elements before this element A of ij. That is the relative index. Look at this. If you are storing row wise 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10 elements are there before A of 22. If 10 elements are there, each element taking 2 location, W is 2 location. Each element takes how much location? 2 locations. 10 into 2 plus base address 200, 220 is the address. Look at this, 220 is the address. Any kind of array, if you are storing in the memory consecutively, this is the master formula. This is the master method. You just somehow get a formula that how to get this relative index of A of ij. How many number of elements are there before ij. That's it. कितने number of elements है memory में before A of ij. That will be your relative index. Replace it by this and that's it. Done. Got it? Let's try to understand how many elements are there before this ij. First of all, let me explain you. Look at this. Let me explain you. Okay, so here it is. Oops. You will certainly enjoy this method of making the formula, and once you will understand this, you will never get any doubt, any query, any question, any kind of confusion regarding these row measure and column measure order. That's for sure. 100% श्योर हूं मैं. आपको एक बार ये समझने के बाद फिर दूसरी बार टेंशन नहीं होगी. Let's see. Suppose for this element you want to get the formula. This is row number I, column number j. Right? So this is the row measure order. Row measure order means you are storing the elements complete row first row, then next row, then next row, then next row, and so on, and after that ith row. Before reaching to ith row, let's assume the first row number is 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, up to what? I minus 1. Complete rows you are storing. क्या आप पूरी रो स्टोर कर रहे हो? यस और नो? प्लीज टेल मी. बोलो भाई. इन तेलुगु बोले तो चपांडी सर. I know it's fathomless for you. I don't know if you understand Telugu language or not. Even I don't understand, but few words I understand. So what I am saying is, starting from first row, let's assume it is 0th row, then first row, second row, third row, up to I minus 1 rows, you are storing completely? Yes, you are storing completely. Puri rows? Yes. Why? Just because it's a row measure order. It's the row measure order. Right? Now. It's not confirmed that row number starts from 0 only. Data structure hai. We are going with the generalized manner. Yes. So row number can start from lower bound of I. Lower bound of I. So lower bound of I plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 up to I minus 1 row. So if I is 6, जो भी आपका starting number है, whatever the starting number of your row you have, from there to 5th row, you are completely storing. Fine. Now, from lower bound of I to I minus 1, all the rows you are storing. Complete rows you are storing. Complete row. Yes. Let's assume this particular 2D array is of m cross n. If you have m cross n का 2D array, right? If you have m cross n का array, means you have total m number of rows. In each row you can have n number of elements. What I will do is, within first row I am storing n number of elements, second row I am storing n number of elements, third row I am storing n number of elements. In all these rows I am storing n number of elements. Complete rows. Yes. Now, how many such rows? From lower bound of I to I minus 1, how many rows you are storing which are totally completely stored? Means each row with n elements. How many? कितनी होंगी ऐसी? कितनी? Let's see कितनी होती है. Wait, let's say lower bound of I starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3 up to I minus 1. How many total number of rows? बताओ. How many total number of rows? 0 to I minus 1. How many total number of rows? I. If lower bound of I is 1, lower bound of I can be 1. पहला नंबर रो का 1 से स्टार्ट हो सकता है. In that case 1 2, 3 up to I. How many total rows? 1 से लेके I minus 1, sorry, I minus 1. 1 to I minus 1. How many number of rows? I minus 1. If you are having lower bound starting from, let's say, 2, 3, 4 up to I minus 1, how many total rows you are having from 2 to I minus 1? Total number of rows you are having is equal to I minus 2. Means if we talk about in generalized manner, from lower bound of I to I minus 1, total number of rows will be I minus lower bound of I. If lower bound of I starts from 0, 0 to I minus 1, I minus 0 rows are there. If lower bound of I is 1, 1 to I minus 1, total I minus 1 rows are there. Understanding? अभी समझ में आया? इतना समझ में आया? तो what exactly I'm gonna write the formula till now? What I understood is this: base plus W into number of elements from lower bound of I to I minus 1 rows. Complete rows? Yes. Plus some elements. I don't know how many some elements. Fine. And this much I am writing the formula here further. Otherwise मैं अपने सिर पे लिख दूंगा. This much is from lower bound of I to I minus 1. How many rows are there? Number of rows are I minus lower bound of I, and these rows are having each row having n element. n element. हर एक रो में कितने एलिमेंट है? n है. Now plus अभी और भी एलिमेंट बचे हैं बॉस. See, you have covered lower bound of I to I minus 1. All the rows? Yes, all the rows. All the rows? Yes. Let me complete it like that way. This row completed? Yes. This row completed? Yes. Stored all the elements? Yes. Stored all the elements? Yes. Now we have reached in the ith row. In the ith row, before reaching to jth column, can we have few elements? Yes. हो सकते हैं. कितने? कितना? अरे ओ सांभा, कितना एलिमेंट था रे? ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे. तो हाउ मेनी एलिमेंट्स? फॉर दैट आई शुड नो दैट jth index is which number element. I don't know. I'll have to check out what is the lower bound of this column number. What is the lower bound of column number? From there to up to j minus 1 index, these many elements are there. So lower bound of j is, let's say, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 up to j minus 1. These many elements are there. Within this row, ith row, within ith row, how many lower bound of j to j minus 1 elements are there? Now from lower bound of j to j minus 1, how many elements are there? That is j minus lower bound. ये यहाँ पे अभी थोड़ी देर पहले इसी टाइप का एक एग्जाम्पल देखा था. We have seen this one. Right. So what I will write here is plus how many number of elements? J minus lower bound of j. These many elements. Number of elements from lower bound of I to I minus 1 rows plus number of elements from lower bound of j to j minus 1 column within ith row. And this is the formula for location in the row measure order. Now, if we want to have the same thing in column measure order, what is column measure order? Column measure order क्या होगा? Column measure order जो है वो है what we will store the elements column wise. First column first, this one, then second, then this, then this. Column wise we are storing. Look at this. First of all, A00, 10, 20. This is the 0th column. Look at this. 0th column. Then we have 3 elements of first column. Then we have 3 elements of second column. Then we have 3 elements of third column. 0 to 3, 4 column. 4 column, yes, 4 column, each column having 3 element. If you want to get the location of CMO, how do you get it? क्या आप बेसिक फॉर्मूला बता सकते हो? The location of A of ij will be equal to, first of all, you are storing the elements column wise. Yes. So if I am saying, let me do the same thing for you. You need to find this element's address. Oh, line chodo, pen lao, which is row number I, column number j. But now this time I'll have to go column by column. First of all, store this complete column, then this column, then this column, up to j minus 1 column. After that, in this column, remaining these elements you will have to store. So first of all, you need to store all these columns. You need to store all these columns, and each column we will be having m number of elements. First column, second column. How many such number of columns? Number of such columns will be depending what is the lower bound of j to j minus 1. How many columns are there? So what I am writing, the formula, the basic one is this: base plus w into number of elements in columns from lower bound of j to j minus 1 plus extra. After that, when you will store all the columns, this one, this one, this one, within the jth column, from here to here, how many elements? That depends what is the lower bound of rows I. So I am writing plus number of elements from row LB of I to I minus 1 within column j. That is the formula. And how to write this in the mathematical form? Mathematical form will be like this: base plus w. W means each element takes how much space. From lower bound of j to j minus 1, how many columns are there? J minus lower bound of j. These many columns are there. Now each column has n number of elements. How can I say that? Oh, m number of elements. Right. M number of elements. Let me clear it. M number of elements plus I minus lower bound of I. These many elements are there within the column number j. When you have C language, in the C language, these LBJ and LBI starts from 0. This is one of the example which I am showing here. That is the C language ka example only, in which the row number and column number starts from 0. In that particular case, you don't have to subtract this value, j into m plus I into w plus base, directly. And here also you can eliminate this LB of I and LB of J, just because these are 0. वो तब है जब हमारे पास C language है, otherwise नहीं है. चलिए, तो अब 2 क्वेश्चन आपके सामने आए हैं क्विज के. ये जल्दी से सॉल्व करो, जल्दी से. I want the answer as quick as possible. आई एम वेटिंग फॉर योर आंसर. I'm waiting for your answer. करो भाई, क्वेश्चन करो. क्विज का क्वेश्चन है. सो दिस इज द 2D array. The starting address of the array is 1000, which is the base address. Each element occupies 4 memory location. W is 4. Now you need to have the address of this in row measure, address of this in row measure. Row measure order. Yes. So first of all, what is the lower bound of I? Lower bound of I is -3. कॉलम मेजर का रो मेजर और कॉलम्स का लोअर बाउंड, लोअर बाउंड ऑफ जे, कॉलम का लोअर बाउंड ऑफ जे इज 6. फाइन. हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स आर देयर इन द रोज, और टोटल हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ रोज आर देयर? आई विल हैव टू कैलकुलेट इट. यस, नंबर ऑफ रोज m is equal to 7 minus -3 plus 1. How many? 11 number of rows are there. How many columns are there? 12 minus 6 plus 1, 7 number of columns are there. Fine. Now once we have calculated these, given that base value is 1000 and W is given as 4, here it is. Let's calculate the first question. What first question says that location of a of 0, 9. So based on this, I value is 0, J value is 9. Put the formula. Base 1000 plus W 4 into I 0 minus lower bound of I. Lower bound of I is -3 into number of elements or number of total number of columns. How many number of columns are there? 7 plus J 9 minus LB of J, which is 6. This is 0 plus 3. 3 into 7, 21 plus 3, 24 into 4, 1096 will be the first question's answer. 24 into 4, 1096. 96 plus 1000, 1096. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन का तो आंसर आया 1096. क्या गलती की देखो आप लोगों ने. What was the mistake you have made? 2 people have given me 1072. Why? Just check out why you made the mistake. Why you made the mistake? Second one says that you need to find out the location of A of 5, 7. In row measure order only. Yes, तो I का value 5, J value 7. Apply the formula, get the answer. So it will be equal to 1000 plus 4 into I 5 minus -3 into 7 plus 7 minus 6. How much? 5 minus -3, which is 8, into 7, 56 plus 1, 57. 57 into 4, 228. So it will be 1228. 1228. गुड, बढ़िया, गुड. सृंजॉय, चंदा, ग्रेट, सुपर, बहुत बढ़िया. ओके, अनदर क्विज. ओके, सॉल्यूशन के लिए जगह छोड़ रखी थी मैंने, कोई बात नहीं. Answer we got it from here only. This is the first question's answer. This is second question's answer. Now quiz number 2. Now I wait for your answer. Both both should be now column measure order. बताओ बताओ बताओ, आई एम वेटिंग. आप लोगों का आंसर आना चाहिए. आप लोगों का करेक्ट आंसर आना चाहिए. यू शुड गेट द करेक्ट आंसर. गुड इवनिंग, वेरी गुड इवनिंग. Good evening, sir. Your OS classes are really interesting on Plus platform. I saw today. I enjoyed them. On Plus platform, I don't think so I have taken OS, but yes, I have taken it on Unacademy special classes. Thank you so much if you are enjoying those. Both are in column. Yes, both questions are for column measure order this time. So first of all, lower bound. Calculate the lower bound. Lower bound of rows is equal to 2. Lower bound of columns is equal to -6. How many number of elements are there in the rows and columns? How many columns and how many rows? Number of columns or number of rows, you calculate number of rows first. 12 minus 2 plus 1, which is 11, and 5 minus 6 plus 1, which is 12. So number of rows are 11, number of columns are 12. Fine. Now given in the question, what is the base address? 1000. Each element occupies how much space? What is the occupancy of each element? 4, means W given is 4. Calculate the first question's answer. When is my next class? COA ka next class mostly will be after 2 weeks. COA. Next class will be of COA next week. First one, let's calculate this. Location of A of I comma j 3 comma 2. Here I is 3, j is 2, equal to, what should be the answer? Base 1000 plus W 4 into now column number 2 minus lower bound of column number -6 into how many number of rows are there in each column? 11 plus row number 3 minus row ka lower bound 2. How much it is? 8 into 11, 88 plus 1, 89 into 4. 89 into 4. 89 into 4. 356. So it will be 1356. That will be the correct answer. Second one. Let's try to get the second one's answer also. I guess you have already calculated. I am just verifying. मैं सिर्फ आप लोगों का वेरिफिकेशन बता रहा हूं. वॉट एवर यू हैव डन. Look at this. LOC of A of 6 comma 5. Let's see how to do that. I value is equal to given 6. J value given as 5. Put the values in the formula and get the correct answer. 1000 plus 4 into this J. 5 minus 6 into 11 plus 6 minus lower bound of this is 2. 5 plus 6, 11 into 11. 11 into 11 is 121 plus 4, 125. 125 into 4. 125 into 4 is 500. Answer will be 1500. Check out both the answers. Check out both the answers. Do you get the correct answer? Full course, of course I will be teaching here full course. I will be teaching here full course, definitely. बराबर, ठीक है? ठीक है, चलिए, ओके, बढ़िया.